check it out. The boys are going in style this time.
Richard, do you want to go rough, or do you want to take your truck and go luxury?
Nice work, Richard.
Oh, hey.
This lateral line fishing mission is another one of those easy ones. We are staying close as to home and fishing very, very familiar ground. Although the spot that we are fishing today, we haven't fished in like 3 years, since way back at the start of the lateral line, which is pretty dumb really, because Milan caught a few good kingfish there when we fished it all those years ago. It's a land-based mission, this one, and a walk-in land-based mission, and today has started really easy. The boys are in relax mode. It is not high tide until 12 o'clock today, and it is about 10 now. The plan, of course, being to get down on the rocks, get live baits, get some fresh dead baits, and then fish the entire outgoing tide, as we believe the outgoing tide to be the best tide to be targeting kingfish on. And as always, hoping to pick up some snapper to take home to eat, and to eat tonight, because this one is a 2-day mission. Staying tonight, gonna get up super early tomorrow and try and get on the rocks before the sun comes up. And did I mention on this one, you will hear no complaints from the cameraman about the weather. We only had 2 days to go fishing where, you know, Milan's free and I'm free and everything aligned, and so did the weather. The weather is awesome, the forecast is awesome, and the smile on my face is massive. Milan has already made coffee and put the drone up and chased a few turkeys around, and right now all the gear is getting rigged up, ready for a land-based fishing mission. It is not just myself and Milan on this one, we've also got brother Richard. Now, I have been hunting with brother Richard before, but this will be my first fishing mission with the man. But Milan and Richard had one of those impromptu fishing missions a while back. I think it was the whole, hey Richard being Milan's neighbour, you want to go fishing tomorrow? And Richard's like, I'm in. Richard hasn't done a lot of fishing. I talked to him on the way up. He reckons he's been land-based fishing a handful of times. And he got an introduction to land-based fishing pretty heavily. Not long after having a live bait in the water, the live bait got scoffed by a big kingfish.
Mine. Hit him! And tighten your drag up. Wind your drag up.
Don't know quite what happened, but it didn't last very long. Not long after that, the boys had a great white shark turn up, and Milan was obviously squawking at Richard to get the live bait out of the water, which he managed to do.
Put your bail arm over, don't let him eat it. Hopefully the kingy. Oh, it's a great white! It's a great white, bro!
But then later that day, out of nowhere, this shark re-erupted on the live bait.
Oh, he's coming for your livey! Wine! Oh, wine!
And Richard has done very little fishing, well, not enough fishing to know what was going on and get the live bait out of the way quick enough before Mr. Great White Shark inhaled it. And then it wasn't long after that, and Mr. Great White Shark said, I got teeth, and was gone.
See how hard it is to break the gear?
That's unreal, eh?
Yeah.
So yeah, Richard got a pretty full-on introduction to land-based fishing, lateral line styles, and he's keen as to get back out there and get stuck into some fish. And fingers crossed, today's the day that he lands his very first monster kingfish from the rocks. But yeah, once again, the boys are right now rigging up, and we've got a bit of a walk to drop down the hill here, get out and get into it. And this episode of The Lateral Line is brought to you by Suzuki Outboard Motors. Without Suzuki support, myself and Milan would not have the time and energy that we need to create The Lateral Line.
You're catching dinner for the first fish, bro.
What? Wasn't that like your first cast?
Yep.
I have this rule that I normally film every first cast, and I didn't, and then look what happens.
Quick lift, nice.
Ha ha!
Good.
Just like that, Richard's on the board.
Tomahawk steaks and snapper.
Surfing too.
Tomahawk steaks and snapper fish. That didn't take long, man.
Oh, it's easy, eh?
Yeah, sure, man. And after last time's escapades, the boys have found a bag that is awesome for carrying burley, and you can put ice in it and put your fish in it, and it's all good. No more letting go good quality eating fish. Cast number 2 for Richard coming up.
Boat up. Come on.
Come on, man. Snapper fishing could end up being real good, eh?
Yep.
Boys might have just struck it right.
Chip ball. Well, the water's nice and dirty.
You're going to get real quick, man.
It's worth it.
It's worth it, he reckons. Wait, hold it there.
I reckon there's big snapper out there. There's heaps of snapper, so there's got to be one big one for me.
Get it, Milan.
Yep. Big head bait.
Oh,
Little ones.
a little bit going on out there, eh? Faded's in the water
There's
long before
lots
you
of
get a
snapper.
bite.
Lots and lots of snapper. You're only going to get a bait to hit the bottom and it's bang, bang, bang.
Richard's got another one.
These are sleigh material.
There's already 2 in the bag. Whoa! Is that the bottom or a fin? That's the bottom, right? I was going to say. I can't see the boys going hungry tonight. There is legal snapper just about every cast at the moment. Richard's trying to get the mighty Kahawai,
Nice.
and he's failing miserably by catching food. Go, Richard!
Another nice dinner fish.
Richard strikes again.
It's good, it's good.
When it's good, eh? It is too easy on a good day, eh?
Yeah.
I was just about to put the drone up, look over, and Milan had that look about him. And by the time I got down to the rocks, it's very nearly over. And a beautiful fish. That's what we want, Milan.
Snapper fishing is so good. Thank you.
He's got that real pale look about him, eh? Don't drop him or you'll have to keep him. That milky flesh thing going on, I reckon.
Had to be some better ones out there, brother. So many snapper in the burley at the moment. Go, little man.
Oh, look at that. Milan just let his fish go, walked up the rock, turned around. Richard had that look about him, pushed record, boom. Today is one of those days that as a fisherman you just dream about. Every bait that hits the water is just getting whacked pretty much instantly. I was trying to put the drone up like 3 different times. I was about to launch it. Ah, fish, 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 fish. I went down and filmed fish, and then I was like, I'm putting the drone up regardless. Then put the drone up and the fishing it's on. There is a lot of little fish, but where there's a lot of little fish, there's going to be some bigger ones. And Milan did catch a very reasonable snapper, but it had that real pale look about it. And there's a, I don't even know how to explain it, but a few fish that we've caught had this real milky, soft flesh to them, and we end up not eating them. So yeah, anyway, thought that might have been one of those, so he was better off in the water when we had enough snapper in the bag to fill our bellies. But yeah, no sooner did I get the drone up, and get a bit of scenery and do what I do and what I love to do, Milan started squawking that there was the mighty Kahawai, and a school of bite-sized Kahawai have turned up, and Richard is now plucking them out one after the other. So there is a live bait in the water. There is 2 or 3 Kahawai that have been dispatched for dead baits. There is big baits now out there soaking for a big snapper, and the chances of something big turning up today is really, really good. But again, that new bag, our new burley / catch bag, has already got more than we need in it for tonight. But where we're staying tonight, we have a freezer, so we can fill it fish when we get back there, bag it and freeze it tonight, and then we can take frozen fish home tomorrow. So that is a massive bonus. And yeah, steaks, tomahawk steaks and fresh fish for dinner seems to be our go-to at the moment, and this one is going to be no different.
That's a better snapper.
Was that a big Kahawai bait that got eaten? Big Kahawai bait got eaten and spat back out. Meanwhile, Richard's just plucking Kahawais out one after the other. Were you winding that bait in?
Look at the pearl of Kahawai. I'm going to stick that back out again.
They're little lollipops, eh?
Yeah.
Little lollipop Kahawai.
Find another one.
Milan's got a half Kahawai going out.
So many snapper down the road. Got to be one big 20-pounder.
Why not?
There will be.
There will be, eh?
Because I'll
32
catch one and Richard
pounder.
might go, oh, I'm going to put a big bait
That's
on.
good, yeah.
I'm going to put my jumper on.
Although, that's not looking good. It's a bit dark. So much for our amazing weather. It rained again. Again, it's raining. And when it rains, my audio equipment that I have on my phone is useless. So I took all that off to keep that from getting wet, chucked it in my pack, and then I was just doing what I can while it's raining, right? I was filming a tug of war just down here between a couple of crabs, and then Milan starts yelling, big snapper, and look up to see Milan hooked up. Once again, I'm yabbering away because my audio is non-existent, unusable, and cooked. And then he spent a good couple of minutes tussling with a big snapper. It was caught up in the weed. He free-spooled it a couple of times, and then, yeah, tug of war backwards and forwards, seesawing it out of the weed. Got it out of the weed, then it got him in another chunk of weed. So the same thing was happening, in and out of the weed, and then, anyway, finally, the snapper frees itself up. Oh, here he comes. He's out again. I don't know how good my audio is going to be. Got no audio on. But
It's a whopper!
Milan's hooked the whopper. Oh, what a donkey.
Whoa!
Milan.
Whoa!
It's a friggin' donkey, bro.
Whoa! Holy shamoles, that's a big snapper.
And Milan landed a monster. I know if you didn't weigh it, you shouldn't say it, but I reckon that one had to be getting close to that magic 20-pound mark. It was an awesome fish. As always, wanted to let that big fish go, so we got it back in the water as quickly as we could, but it just wouldn't go. It just stayed belly up on the surface, started drifting out off the rock, so Milan quickly took a big treble hook off one of Hamish's stick baits, tied that on, and then Milan cast a big treble hook out in the hopes that he could jag that snapper and retrieve it. And Milan is very good with a jag hook, and he managed to jag the snapper, got it back on the rocks. I got him some nice photos, and then that big snapper has gone into the catch bag and is going home with the boys. We will fillet it tonight, get it on ice. Well, it's on ice now, but we'll fillet it tonight and then take 2 big slabs in to see Graham the butcher and get it all smoked up. And the boys can enjoy some smoked snapper. We will turn a bitter-sweet situation into more of a sweet one, if you know what I mean.
Bit of a reward, you know.
You deserve it today, Milan. You did well, man.
I did extremely well.
Cameraman was a bit slack, but
I got my mojo back. Been lacking.
After all the excitement that was Milan's big snapper, pretty much just petered out. A few little bites here and there, and we had a live bait swimming the whole time, but yeah, the last few hours have been really quiet. So the boys are now in pack-up mode, and we've got a pretty wild climb to get out of here. I'm starting to think that maybe one of the reasons we haven't been back to this spot in a few years is because this last sort of 50 meters is pretty steep, pretty gnarly. I don't remember having to climb around the rocks like we did on the way here. But yeah, anyway, what I'm trying to say is, when we were on the hill before, Richard said, "I'll carry the burley bag. I want to do some training for an upcoming hunting mission." Well, now he's got like 15 kilos worth of snapper to carry out because the catch bag is looking really healthy. Of course, there's one fish in there that's somewhere between 8 and 10 kilos, but we've got like 7 or 8 fish all up. So yeah, I reckon he's got like 15 kilos to carry up that hill, and it is pretty wild. Gonna go back to where we're staying tonight. We have tomahawk steaks and obviously some fresh snapper for dinner. Have an early night, probably play some cards, and then hatch a plan for tomorrow. Up early. The boys are talking about being on a rock before it gets daylight tomorrow on the way up here. So yeah, I think that is the plan. And again, hoping for big fish. We'll already have fish filleted, ready to take home, but love to take some fresh fish home as always. So yeah, see you all again tomorrow. More big fish on the menu. pretty quiet this morning. Boys are beaten from climbing up the hill.
I got sore legs from climbing up the hill.
Me too.
The boys should have been out of bed like half an hour earlier this morning than we did, because the days are getting longer at a rapid rate of knots at the moment, and yeah, we wanted to be on the rocks at about daybreak, or at least being up behind here at daybreak so that we had daylight to climb down the rock. But yeah, we're a little bit late because once again the days are getting longer, and they're getting longer fast, and daylight is breaking half an hour earlier than we kind of anticipated. And considering how much time we spend outdoors, we should know these things. But it is all good. Smiles on our faces. There's already bait at our feet in the burley. Milan's rigged a stick bait, a live bait, a snapper rod, a bait rod, you name it, it's rigged and ready. And the boys are about to start fishing. And another day doing what we do, trying to catch something to eat. Milan's talking big kingfish as he always does. And this spot, and with the tides that we have, is a really good shot at it. Although it's probably not the best time of year. Give it another month or two, and it will definitely be on. But at this stage of the game, just enjoying the fine, calm weather. The sun today is awesome. The heat coming off the sun is very cool. A little bit over battling with the cold, and definitely ready for summer. Bring that on. I just finished blaring onto my phone, setting the scene for the day, and I looked down and a kingfish just swam straight underneath us. A fairly good looking fish too. He was a long way down, but I put him at like 10 kilos. Drone just got landed, and then I hear, good snapper, NATO. We're taking this one home. Looks good to me, Milan.
Nice.
Oh, I like the look of that, mate.
Nice one, isn't it?
It is. Well done.
We might not be able to catch kingfish, but we sure can catch snappers.
Looks like Richard's bag's
Gonna be heavy.
starting to gain a little bit of weight, mate. Gotta love that.
Oh, kingy behind him.
Oh,
Yeah,
there is
kingy
two.
right on
Kingfish on the snapper.
Here he is. There's the kingfish. Come and eat the cube.
Oh, he wants to eat Richardson's snapper. Where's your sluggo?
I cut it
He's
off.
coming back up again.
There it is, Mr. Kingfish. Come and eat my cube. Come on.
Oh, hits him. You got him.
Got him.
Got him, Milan.
They're just all that same size, eh? Just beautiful.
Beautiful eating fish, hopefully. Hang on, just let me get focused on it. All right, now you can cast it, man.
That's how you catch a big snapper, Nato.
That'll do it, eh?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Boom.
Oh, did you hear that pop?
Yeah. That was letting all the snapping over.
Big bait has arrived. Last burley bomb for the day. That's a little bit depressing when it's only like 9 o'clock or something, if that.
Yeah, but bite time's in an hour.
Bite time is in an hour.
Outside.
Catch a mau mau, dispatch a mau mau, stomp on this mau mau, cast a mau mau. Big snapper fish.
Coming up. Is that a Kahawai down deep or is that a big mau mau? Out wide.
Sounds like Milan may have a little keeper. I reckon that one's coming home. Well, this lateral line fishing mission was thoroughly enjoyed by the boys. It was so very cool to be out in the wide open spaces in good weather. Man, we have had a run of bad weather for as long as I can remember. So to have the sun beating down upon our smiling faces and the wind wasn't blowing, it was calm as, and not only that, the fish were biting their faces off. The catch bag that was on Richard's back was once again heavy, and the boys have fresh fish to go home and enjoy with friends and family. And as always, that is the number one goal on each and every one of our lateral line fishing missions. So once again, it now comes time to say chur chur to all my brothers and sisters out there watching the lateral line. It is truly, honestly, greatly appreciated. We absolutely love what we do, and especially when it's in fine weather and the fishing is good. So yeah, without you guys watching it, I wouldn't be doing it, and I love doing it. And right now, I have a little update for you on our Toyota Land Cruiser 105 series that Sam and the team at Hybrid Street are about to completely rebuild. It has just gone through a inspection process because it's been a crashed vehicle, and not only a crashed vehicle, but the thing was written off. So yeah, everything has to be checked and all the damaged areas need to be located, and then obviously make a plan to repair it all. And as it turns out, the boys at Hybrid Street have got a fair bit of work in front of them. Sam has sent me a list of all the things that need repairing, so I'm just going to quickly rattle off a little bit here. The radiator support panel and right front apron panel need replacing. The right front body mount replacement required. A body mount, that sounds pretty serious. Right side trailing arm bracket replacement required. The left rear quarter needs to be repaired. Going on the footage that you'll be looking at that I've seen, it needs a full sandblast, not only the chassis but also the underbody. and there's a fair bit of corrosion around, but the thing has been sitting outside for a couple of years, going on what Sam has told me. And on top of all of that, this thing needs to go into I don't know how this works, but it says here that it needs a 3D laser measure to make sure that the chassis is all straight. Obviously, this thing was in a crash at some point. So now, Team Hybrid Street have a plan of attack. They know what needs to be done, and the boys are going to be straight into it very, very soon. I will make full dedicated build videos on the Toyota, as I think it's going to be some pretty cool content. I will leave you all with another Milan build video, and this build video has some fishing content in it because building brother Andre and Andre's son Jai took Milan fishing and they even caught some fish. See you all again very, very soon. Oh, hang on a minute. Check out Nado's new hunting wagon. I got a bit sick of not having wheels, so I went groveling to my mother and borrowed some money, and yeah, I'm back in action. Thank you, Mama. Very much appreciated.
Welcome to the world of power. It seemed like the pre-wire was a lifetime ago, but now the men from Macmillan's Electrical Solutions are back to install all the light switches and connect the huge array of lights that I've been collecting over the years. Steve Macmillan's a local electrician that has a passion for hunting and fishing, a very like-minded individual. He has selected a team of extraordinary men that he works with that love power just as much as him, and they have a pretty incredible name for doing what they do and doing it well. Gary was our go-to man, and he started the process of working out the maze of wires that were run through the house probably 6 months ago. Not getting things wrong is a big part of being an electrician, so every feed had to be checked, back from the light to the switch to the board, and then the install of the components could be completed. Now, lights is one thing I have a passion for. I'm not the biggest fan of downlights, so pendants are my go-to. I also don't like the new style of lights, so over the past probably 3 years I've been collecting an array of old style lights to use as parts or retrofit to the style of the home. One of the main themes for the house was a greenhouse going on the northern end, and while I was out collecting timber for the house, I came across an old glass house. Now, that old glass house was made of steel, and it was quickly strapped down to the trailer and brought back to site. Once here, we decided to keep its rustic charm and not clean down the panels, and then we started to cut it down into usable pieces to go around the house. With an array of LED lights strapped into a frame, it became the main light source for the room. In the end, it ended up being the main light over the master bedroom. Then the smaller pieces were used the same way above the kitchen bench. Others were used as light panels for the scullery, so lights weren't always required to light the pantry. With all offcuts building up on the floor, they became the handles for the kitchen drawers. It's funny how items find their homes. Lights are a wonderful thing to give atmosphere to a room, and it really tells a story. And I think once this house is finished, it will have an incredible story to tell. With the building going on and the topwater season starting up for big kingfish, it was time to find some time to go and explore and find out where the fish are. Andre's youngest boy, Jai, loves a good kingfish fish, and it wasn't hard to convince the boys to get out for a fish with the weather finally looking awesome. Spring kingfish can be pretty hard to catch sometimes, so it's good to have stick baits and live baits ready at hand. Live baits are sometimes a good way of finding the fish, and stick baiting, well, it's got to be one of the coolest ways to catch the hardest fighting fish in the ocean. We have the world's largest fish right here on our doorstep, and people travel from all over the world to come and catch them, and they don't disappoint. If you want to come catch them, let us know, as we have a young man named Ricky that has a passion for catching these incredible fish, and he's just set up a business to do just that. It didn't take long for Jai to get a bait eaten, and his reel was howling by the corner. I don't think there's anything better than watching good friends getting railed in the corner.
I'll back your drag off a little bit.
Lift you. That's it.
Yeah. Whatever you do, don't let that line touch anything, okay?
Yep.
That's it, Jai. Got to stop it going to the bottom.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you can. And the fish this time of year are in prime condition, fat from spending the winter down deep feeding on the wonderful food source coming up from the deep. So until next fortnight, be kind and smile.
This episode of The Lateral Line is proudly brought to you by the Bowler Triangle, NATO's bow hunting YouTube channel. Without the Bowler Triangle, The Lateral Line would not exist.
Hey, you little buckers, what are you doing, man? God, Jesus, you're just gonna get shot, man. What are you doing, man?